Hello?
Well, greetings and hello to everyone out there in the world of the streaming services known as Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, etc., etc., etc.
Don't forget about
expect you to say greetings and salutations. It threw me off there.
I know. Well, that's why that's kind of my what I do when I do the Funko royalty. I did give a greetings and a most heartfelt salutations. But again, I figured I would throw a little curveball in there. Of course, I think now I'm a variant, and the TV is going to be showing up any moment now to take me away. But
Charles, do you have it on your back?
I don't know. I
Run around
almost,
in circles like I'm trying to see.
Let me see. So yeah, this is iStream Ustream. We have 3 people on our stream tonight in different locations. This is a kind of a first for iStream Ustream. Not the first for the New York Nerd Show. We've definitely had a couple of triple threats on the cam circle. So, but yeah, this is a new one for the iStream Ustream. I'm digging it.
It's like we're quarantining from ourselves.
I know. But yeah, this one is. I'm excited to talk about the episode tonight. This was episode number 3, known as Lamentis, named after the planet that Loki, and now we can confirm that her name is Sylvie, as was, alluded to in last week's episode. But before we officially dive head first into the shallow waters, that is spoilers, I do want to go ahead and issue the spoiler warning right here, right now. Turn away if you have not seen this episode. There are going to be spoilers coming up. So we will be talking about everything in this episode. Nothing is off limits. Though I do have to give a little disclaimer to this episode. As we've all know, this is not our full-time gig yet. Hopefully, in the future that we'll have enough followers out there that the monies will be running in, will be pouring in, and that we can quit our day jobs and just do this full time.
That's great.
That's the dream, right? So, but until that happens, we got to do what we do to pay the bills. And I've been filming the Orlando Ballet competition all week. So I have done absolutely nothing in preparation for this outside of watching the show.
That's the first step.
That's like bare minimum.
You could show some moves.
I can show some what?
Some moves. You've been studying the ballet. Come on, Twinkle Toes.
Yeah. No, it's not going to happen this week. But with that, like I said, normally
look forward to next week.
Oh yeah. There'll be more stuff. I'll have stuff in the way of graphics and visuals for next week.
No, I mean the ballet moves.
Oh well, yeah, sure, yeah. I gotta have time. Come on.
Can I just start off with a super random thought? First of all, I don't think did we introduce ourselves? So I'm Bitter Brits.
Yeah, we haven't done that, so we probably should. I'm Lord Cash, and down at the bottom
nameplates. So
you should still introduce yourselves, and all that Pat is not introducing himself.
I'm doing it right there. I'm all that.
What about for the visually impaired?
Yes, I'm all that Pat.
So we are here going to be talking about, as I said, episode 3 of the Disney Plus series Loki. With that being said, I have some bad news.
Okay, you go ahead.
We are halfway through this series.
Half glass full, or half empty, though?
Half watched.
Half drink.
So, and I will say this: if you have not already watched the episode and you're just sticking around for whatever, I almost want to say don't.
Get out of here.
But here's my point. Here's my point. Without going too far into, but again, I can. The events of this episode don't move the series along that far.
No, not at all.
They basically, the pretty much 90%, 95% of the episode is the dealings of Sylvie and Loki on the planet of Lamentus 1, which is one of the apocalypse locations. Basically, this moon is falling apart and going to be destroying Lamentus 1. It's like a mining colony planet. I almost feel like I'm watching an episode of Doctor Who.
Seriously, I got that vibe too of Doctor Who or like a Star Trek Next Generation shoot. It didn't feel like
I was watching the Titanic.
Okay, I can kind of see that. So with that,
which one is Jack?
Pardon?
Which one is Jack?
Both been drawn naked yet, so I mean, it's pretty hard.
No, I was like, Pat, is it incest if they're the same person in different dimensions?
That's not the first time I've heard that comment be raised.
I'm hoping that they do not have a relationship because that would be weird.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But you know, they're trying to build. I mean, that's what this episode I feel like was building the character of Sylvie and that relationship between the two. And will they each other in the back, or will they be BFFs, or you know what that will look
right? Like. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those. How exactly? You know, because he's trying to win her over, but she wants nothing to do with him. She just wants the little chrono pad to get out of there so they don't die, essentially. But he uses his Loki, you know, ways and vanishes it away. But with this episode, if you have not seen it, I feel this is chapter 1 of Act 2.
Yeah.
So if you were to watch episodes 2 and 3 together, I feel that they would work better, you know, in tandem if you hadn't watched it. Like I full on plan before I watch episode 4 next week, I'm gonna watch 3 and then go right into 4, just to have that, you know, that's you know, peanut butter jelly sandwich of Loki and Sylvie. Yeah. It works, I think.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I'm starving.
I know. Yeah, I dinner's downstairs. As soon as I'm done, I'm gonna go heat me up something. Don't know what it is yet.
I've eaten, so yum.
But
so I feel like too that I agree with what you're saying. This idea of like almost like an Act 2. I also feel that they are, you know, trying to build up. What's that phrase where, you know, you're gonna have some emotional ties. You feel kind of bad for both characters in different ways, particularly when they're talking about their childhood and their mothers, and you know, it sounds like she was alone and they were both, you know, adopted, right. and he didn't know. So like, you know, they're still making it like an anti-hero, right, kind of thing.
Yeah, they're definitely laying the groundwork to tug at those heartstrings for you,
right?
And building the backstory.
I've just been waiting for a minute. I'm sorry, but there was one thing that I want to point out that I was correct on. I thought the people that worked at the TSA, TWA, whatever it was called, the acronym, were variants. And we learned in this one that there were some variants that worked there.
They're all variants.
Yes.
Did you say that or did I say that?
I said it. 110%.
We have it on video. We could check the record.
No, that's fine. I'm
because I said Owen Wilson's character is a variant, and you said no, and I was like, I bet you they're all variants.
Okay, I know that because I said that there was more than one Mobius.
Right.
That's what because technically in the comics they are clones. That's why I think it's Mobius M Mobius, because I think there might be a Mobius A Mobius.
Oh.
I think. Don't quote me on that one.
But I mean, it sounds like it's not just Mobius; it's everybody in the TVA. So that
Well, again, if it's not because they're not necessarily clones, they're just. I feel like there's been different situations. Like I said, there was like 1992, Mobius got in trouble, and he was A. Then
No, yeah, I'm not saying that they're clones, but I'm saying that not necessarily Mobius. It sounds like all of the security people, whatever we call them, are variants, but they don't know that they're variants.
Right. So yeah.
Back my statement. I mentioned that I thought Loki was mind controlling him, and then you pointed out all the stuff on the shelf. So I walk that back. Good job, Brian.
Anyway,
I know.
I thought that was interesting because it's like, how else would they build a group of people? I suppose.
Right. Here's how we're gonna leave it. Okay. I Stream Ustream on the New York Nerd Show claimed that they were all variants last week.
Yes.
We hold hands.
Ah!
I put one down and one up.
There we go. But we we gotta go this way, and then I go down. This is weird.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, we someone on the show made that claim, and they get a gold star. So
and by association, the others also get gold stars.
Absolutely, it's a team effort. This is it's a class project. Everyone gets A's. So
yeah, so that was definitely interesting. I do kind of feel like I know you're the feeling that Loki is giving is that he's trying to get on Sylvie's good side, but I am hoping that what it really is he's trying to gather information to then be a good guy potentially with the TVA and to help stop her from causing complete chaos.
Right. And I saw a meme today that's going to further tie into to an Easter egg, I guess, something that references back, but I didn't save it. I just scrolled past it. Shame on me.
No, ultimately, with Sylvie getting so expanded on in this particular episode, there does seem to be like a building of trust. Like, do you guys actually ultimately trust the character of Sylvie?
No. And I will also tell you that answer goes 100% to Loki. I trust neither one of them.
Right.
Now,
I feel like we know that Loki's going to stab somebody in the back, but is it going to be her or is it going to be the TVA? Like, that he's already claimed both sides. And it's like he's just going to do whatever helps him not die.
But yeah, no, I 100% do not trust Sylvie or Loki for as far as I can throw them. And I have not been hitting the gym lately, so you're going to get about 2 feet.
Can I say something super random? I was telling all that the name Sylvie makes me think of a Pokemon. I feel like either Eevee, Sylveon combined together. Sylvie.
Well, I think Sylvie is the evolved version of Loki. So now, so here's the thing. I've seen things in trailers.
I have too. Sometimes family, sometimes dogs.
And with that, I don't count those as spoilers.
Okay.
Do you guys?
I know all that Pat does.
With this particular show, nah, you're good.
Okay. So there is a clip that shows, and it's also on IMDb. This is one of the things that kind of also let the Sylvie name out of the bag, is because there's an actress that's being credited as young Sylvie.
Oh, okay.
So she's probably maybe around 8 or 9 years old when she gets brought to the TVA. So basically, almost maybe a little bit younger than when we first meet Thor and Loki at the beginning of Thor, because they're probably around that 12 to maybe 14 years of age. So she looks like she's a little bit younger. So she, from what it sounds like, she has been on the run from the TVA for a long time. Because if she got pulled in that time, I don't know if she was conditioned and trained to be a TVA agent and then went rogue.
Right.
But based on what I saw from that clip, I'm curious as to what exactly did she do, or was one of the things where she was more of a, because like with her gender is fluid. Did that mean that okay? I know like on the, because there is that image that I showed last week. There is a TVA report from the early 1900s.
Right.
I think it was like 1908 was what's on there, and it's showing her, that's when she had an encounter with the TVA. So I don't know if that's when she was like that young in 1908, but because technically Loki was born in like the year like 1000 something, or even before then. Now he's old. He's old.
He must moisturize though.
He does. He does. So it's just one of those things where I'm just curious exactly like what did she do outside of being female? What was her crime per se? Because otherwise there can be, I'm imagining that there can be a couple of timelines going side by side. That's the sacred timeline, and not just, because otherwise they would have pruned off that Loki, that Sylvie at birth. If Loki, or was one of those, okay, at that age, she stuck to female as her preferred fluid gender, versus Loki chose male, probably to coincide with Thor. And it also sounds like she didn't have Thor's mom there.
Right.
So I don't know if she died earlier, or if she was never even went to Thor's world, to Asgard. If maybe Odin was like, oh, it's a girl. Well, I don't want that. At basically when was a child of Loki, was like, oh, it's a female? Nah, I was hoping for a boy. And it's like that kind of just set her on her way. So I'm curious. I always love backstory. That's always a good time for me. I get to hear that, see the different alternate universe building up to where we are now. So I would imagine we're going to get more of that. We're going to get a little more of her backstory, how she came to be at the TVA, who she encountered, back at that time frame, and exactly how does time in itself work, within the TVA.
I mean, at what point though? I mean, said we have 3 more episodes. At what point are the TVA going to actually start making their move again? I mean, I can't imagine we're going to have an entire episode 4 that's just her backstory, but perhaps they will. I don't know. I mean,
well, because as of right now, they can't find them. No,
I know, and it's like, and Loki and Sylvie also can't find their way out. So it's kind of like there's both camps of character are isolated from each other, and we don't know how they're going to actually ever,
they're gonna have to do something to show a the what is it, the zero. I'm gonna pull up a file here for just a second from last week, if I can find it. So yeah, the zero variance energy detected when Ragnarok happened.
Right.
So they're going to have to do something to show that variance energy to cause to go, oh, hey, we found them. Let's go to Lamentus 1 because this whole planet is supposed to die. There's now survivors. What happened?
Well, and I'm sure, like, I don't know how it'll connect or anything, if at all, but there was also like that very heavy drop of information how that episode started with the one agent that had been kidnapped by her, basically.
Yeah, C-20.
Yeah, and how like she even had to do it. She had to like screw around with her memories in order to create an environment in her own mind that she can actually start taking over her brain a little bit, because she said like some people's mental acumen was stronger than others.
Right.
And I doubt they're just gonna like mention that and then just kind of move away from it. So
well, that's why she can't do it to Loki.
Well, but I mean, they might go. I wonder if they're going to go deeper into that and have another like mental battle in that sense. That's
right.
Visualized on the screen.
Well, and I'm wondering if she's going to do that to Mobius and find out. We'll get his backstory a little bit.
Right.
The fact that he was from the 90s, and that's why he has the Josta Cola. That's why he has this, a love relationship for, jet skis, because they're fun. I love them myself, but I don't think I have the fondness for jet skis like he does. But it's all good.
I don't know. Like I definitely missed his character in this one. And I don't know. I'm this whole episode was disappointing in a way, like not disappointing in a way of a viewer, but like, they just kept building and building and building to like, hopefully they can get off this planet. Hopefully they can avoid this apocalyptic event. And at the end, it's just like, well, crap.
Basically, the spaceship that they were going to try to escape on literally got hit by a moon rock, which again is what happened in the original timeline, which is why there's, this whole planet gets destroyed, which makes a great place for, Sylvie to hide out because no one survives. But unfortunately, that means now the TVA doesn't know they're there. So they're going to have to do something to cause a ripple in the timeline. So that way, Mobius will be like, found you, let's go get him. Otherwise, unless they can do a, star 69 on the time pad and go, okay, where'd they go? But I don't know if the TVA uses that technology.
And just so you guys know, anybody that's watching right now that is under the age of 30, star 69 was something you used when you had a regular phone, and it would call back the number that called you.
Yeah, a little redial.
Back that line.
So thanks for giving that 411.
I know. Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I'm wondering if they have the technology to do that, or because technically the time pad that they had when they went through, they took it with them. So it's not as if they left it behind. So they really can't like pick up the phone to redial it. But yeah,
I mean, they're definitely, since they're both there will be a registered, variance level in that area, because there's two of them now.
Oh, well, remember, right, because it's apocalypse.
Everything is destroyed, including them.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think, like,
follow the storyline from the earlier episodes.
No, it's not what
they built the world. We've got to live in it now. It's the what is that? The disposition of belief or something like that.
Sure.
Basically, they build the world. They have to now follow the rules that they've built.
Right. No, I know. I'm like thinking about, because like there's never been an instance that we know of where there were two actual variants at the same time, and like I don't know if that'll be like
You already showed the thing with the thing and the blowing up, and you can do whatever you want if it all goes down.
So, like I said, that's why I feel that they have to get someone off of that planet to survive.
Right.
Which I wonder if they're going to go back to the old lady that shot both of them, which hilarious. And like if they save her, then if she makes it off the planet, then now that she's a variant. Right. So they're going to have to go, okay, wait a minute. Let's go get her, because she was supposed to die, but she didn't. They're going to have to do some sort of, they have to muggle with time a little bit to send up the sparks.
Yeah.
So What that's going to be, we'll have to find out in episode 4, which I'm sure it's going to happen fairly soon. Just that way we can start rolling things along, because they've got to get back to the TVA. We've got to find out who the space lizards are, all that other fun stuff. And, we've got to find out who Mobius is. We got to find out who Renslayer is.
There's so much.
There's all these backstories of all these agents. We will probably find a little bit of B-15's background, So, yeah, I don't know.
And still no after credits thing.
Nope.
Yeah, and that wasn't anything.
I probably imagine that they're going to follow very similar to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I think they did eggs at the 5th and 6th episode.
Didn't they do it at the end of the first one though? Because of the wasn't that the reveal of the Patriot guy?
No, that was at the end. That was at the end of the episode.
Okay, I couldn't remember if that was in the credits or not.
Yeah, there was no egg until the end.
Gotcha.
Because I think the first egg we saw was him making John making the shield, his new shield, for episode 6, and then 6 had the egg with Sharon Carter.
Oh, okay.
Getting what's that word? Pardoned. So,
yeah, it was So ultimately, we kind of talked about how this was kind of a side episode that almost doesn't fully,
it doesn't move things forward in a large way. So
yeah, like the biggest thing that the takeaways. Let's talk about the takeaways. We got to see the relationship between Sylvie and Loki grow. Mm-hmm. They don't like each other, but they at least have a mutual, somewhat respect for each other, because they've gotten to where they are, and they're still alive and doing stuff. They're still causing mischief of some level. Loki has evolved and has learned certain skills and magic tricks, where Sylvie, she had to teach herself about how to do the enchanting people and everything, which again is probably going to tie into her enchantress little moniker that they're going to probably give her. Right. So again, very similar in design and look. The crown's going to be a little bit different, but
and she disposed of the crown, kind of like, as a little like offshoot, like she just used it as a weapon and then never again.
Yeah, which I thought she looked really good without the little headpiece on there. So we'll just to see how it's gonna roll out, if she's gonna get it back. I know Loki can just make his appear. So whether or not she has the same abilities, if they're going to teach each other how to do some of their tricks, so that way they can dodge the TVA accordingly. So I'm interested to see how that relationship is going to evolve. Like I said, we learned a little bit more about each of their powers, and we got to find out that Loki likes doing little sea shanties or something.
Yeah.
A little Asgard jig. But it very had like that Titanic, the almost I was thinking of like Snowpiercer. So there was a little bit of that Doctor Who element to it. There is one Easter egg that I caught right away, and that was when he was doing his little singing number, and he finished a drink and just like threw it on the ground and said, "Another." That's exactly what Thor does at the beginning when he comes to Earth and goes to breakfast for like the first time with Jane Foster. He drinks coffee and like takes the cup and just smashes it on the ground, and it's like, "Another." So they're like brothers.
Yeah.
So I thought that was amusing. I'm sure there's a lot more. I was trying to do some research as far like, was there anything significant about Lamentis one? I know that it was part of the Annihilation Conquest Prologue Volume 11, but outside of that, I'm really not certain about it. And I'm going to do this little mojo right here. just so you can kind of see the cover art of the comic.
Oh, okay.
So I honestly, like, I see Nova on here, Supernova, or just Nova on here. I don't recognize anybody else. So I checked that. That is Star-Lord in his Marvel getup versus his MCU
Really?
getup. What's that?
I didn't know there was a connection with Star-Lord. It's interesting.
Yeah, like he's. Let me turn down my brightness a little bit so you can actually see it a little bit better. I don't know if you've ever if you've seen in the top right hand corner up here. There's the shadowy figure of Star-Lord. It's not working too well. I'll have to save it and show it up. But basically, it's the Marvel Comics version of Star-Lord versus the MCU version, where he's got a different mask on.
Okay.
So I've got the pop somewhere here. I can't get to that quickly. So that's the only reference I saw of Lamentus One outside of this episode of Loki. So I'd be interested to see if other once I have a little more time, because again I watched it yesterday on some downtime and I didn't get to see it today. So yeah, there's a little bit. So that top right under book 1, that's a picture of Star-Lord there with his old mask, but I can't recognize the other ones outside of Nova, who is standing right next to Star-Lord.
Gotcha.
Say, do any of the other characters look familiar to you?
Not honestly, not no, not no.
So yeah, we're just going to see exactly how that plays out, how they're going to get off Lamentus One, who they're going to possibly save. That's my theory. Or if they're going to have to do something to cause a ripple. Like I said, I know I've said that like 5 times already. But that's kind of what I feel that's going to happen. The halfway mark, a series as a whole, what is your thoughts on it? Are we digging it? Are we waiting till it's fully done to watch the last 3 episodes? Like where do we stand on this?
I'm enjoying it.
But
what was that?
I'm sitting, but no, I'm enjoying it as well. I don't think I'm gonna leave the show and being that was an all-time favorite series for me, but we're only halfway done. Right. I'm also not it's not I'm watch another episode. Okay. No, I'm enjoying it too.
I am still at the level that I wake up Wednesday morning and I make sure Tuesday night before we go to bed, I talk to Lady Cash. I'm like, we're waking up at 8:00 to watch Loki, right? Before she has to start work at 9. So I'm like, we're gonna do this, right? I'm gonna set the alarm just in case the child doesn't come and wake us up. It's like, okay, we're waking up at 8, right? And usually she says, yeah, we can do that. So I'm like, yes. So and then like I said, I was working, so as soon as I had my first break, I'm watching. Yeah, I'm definitely, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the first 3 episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier or the first 3 episodes of Loki. Which one has a higher level of expectation? I'm trying to think of where we left off on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier at the end of episode 3, because I know at the end of the first episode we got the big reveal of the new Captain America, and then let me see. I'm going to scroll through. So that was Power Broker. Was the episode there? So I think that's when they had gotten to that one island I'm blanking on right now, Nandapur, and met up with Agent Carter. So there was that. So yeah, I think I may be a little bit more invested in the Loki series, but that's just me personally.
I think I'm just more familiar with the Loki character, so to me, I'm more invested just because I'm much more familiar with him than I was with the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I definitely had seen and heard of Falcon, but I kind of felt like the first episode, I think it was, where they're talking about the backstory of their like families. I was like not that into it. I'm like, I don't know that I want to hear about all their families and like that part of the backstory. I wanted to hear about like the how they came to be this, you know, superhero or anti-hero that they were. Like I felt like the storyline of Winter Soldier was much more interesting because he was like a bad guy turned good.
Yeah.
So I just that part, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't able to keep up with the series, so this one I also feel like those were a little longer, right? So this is a little bit.
They're on par. They're about the same. Yeah, I can understand that. There's definitely like the first episode, like it's called the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it's like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier have their moments, and it's not until the beginning of 2 do they actually come together to make the series.
Right.
At the beginning of Loki, there's like you just hit the ground running right from Endgame. So there is like no downtime. It's going. So,
right.
Are there anything that you possibly are looking like anything that you really want to find out? Anything that you want to have resolved within the next 3 episodes?
I mean, I'm just curious to see kind of how it unfolds, like we were saying earlier, with you know who's going to backstab whom first, and you know which of the whether it's a TVA or the Sylvie or Loki, who's going to come out, you know, ahead, friends or foes, you know.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if they do go with the route of labeling her as the Enchantress, that means she's not going to get pruned.
Right.
I also feel that this Loki is going to become the new Loki.
Right.
So he is pretty much going to go from 2012 and skip all the way to 2024. He's going to like just skip 12 years. He's already hit the highlights, at least as far as like his life, because he watched the greatest hits of his life on the theater. Right. So you know he knows he betrays the Asgards and gets his mom killed. He knows that he dies at the hand of Thanos. Potentially, he knows he fought side by side with Thor and Valkyrie and Hulk at Ragnarok. So he's got the greatest hits. So I think that's how they're going to create a loophole with him surviving, right? Because you can't be done with Loki. I feel like he's too big of a character and too big of a draw to officially kill him off. Right. I realize that they've just done that with Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow. I'm fully 100% aware of that, but
there's ways to bring them back, as they've already shown. Black Widow's got a movie coming out in 2 weeks.
Yes, but that's a prequel, so
but they can still give the audience and the fans more of that character.
Absolutely. There's been I believe that there's like they've talked about various ways, like that Tony Stark created an AI that is him versus using Friday or Jarvis. He actually has there's an AI. So basically, the next person, whether it be Ironheart or his daughter Morgan, if they take on a mantle of an Iron person, Iron character, right, that they're going to have Tony Stark as their AI You know, so they're still gonna have, you'll hear his voice,
Right.
which I think, and again, you saw what they were to do with hologram technology, so they can have moments of that where if they do have Morgan carry on the tradition, have some sort of interactive hologram where she can actually talk to him, kind of almost a Jor-El Superman type of hologram that is like, Dad, I've got some issues. I need to figure out how to defeat this guy. What would you do? And then, you know, using his super smarts and a computer brain, go, well, have you tried this? You know, and boom, they're able to fix it.
Right. I guess we'll have to see on that for sure. I mean, there's
absolutely. And who knows what's going to happen if they're actually going to send people to the moon to find Steve Rogers. I don't know. Exactly. We got a little bit of a throwback joke, our callback joke.
So I was saying, we're halfway done with the series. Next Wednesday we'll have episode 4, and next Thursday we'll talk all about episode 4.
Exactly. So I am super excited about that. But again, that's next Thursday. Do you realize that's 7 days from now?
Usually how it works.
Yeah. I think.
Why don't you share what all the days are between?
Like I say, there's a lot of like dead time before they can watch us again on iStream, Ustream. I almost wonder what they can do in the meantime.
Well, they could join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for our latest episode of Funko Royalty. In addition, Saturday, we have mail time, where we actually just got, this is a crazy thing, we just got our latest box for Dinosaur Dracula. I cannot believe I already got that. Sunday, we have Call of the Wild. Biddy Ritz and myself picked up quite a few things recently on our trip to Delaware and New Jersey. Some things we haven't shown yet. Monday is Crazy Card Collecting. Tuesday is Slam Nation Wrestling. Wednesday is the Game Room. And like you guys said, we come on back on Thursday for another episode of Loki.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop.
All right.
Good times right there for you.
Well, there it is.
Okay, I win. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this show. Definitely, we're gonna see what little things that they set in motion and what's going to play out in episode 4 of next week. So definitely check us out next week when we talk about episode 4. But until then, anything you guys want to say before we head on out for the evening?
See you next time.
Nope. I was thinking something clever, but nope. I was hoping you say anything you want to add.
Nope. I've learned my lesson. So he can't be taught. Alrighty, folks. Well, we bid you all adieu for this evening. And as they say, if you can stream it, go watch it. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hello?